Okay, we're here. Let's do this.
We're here. We got Larry's here. This is marvelous.
How we doing, everybody?
Good. This is wonderful, and I think let's see. Everyone's here. Everyone sounds good.
Well, everybody's filing in. We got Tracy's here. Thank God. I always say that, Tracy, because you're absolutely terrific.
She's great.
Eric's here. Gene doesn't think so. He tells me on the side. I don't really think she's terrific. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right, Stella's here. Kay Miller. Stella, your buddy Pumpkin just had a 5-course meal and he's inside napping. Julie's here. Daniel made it. All right, listen, guys. We have moons. It's only a paper moon. We got moons going on.
We got a new video debut that you guys get to see first.
Yep.
While we're at it, it has to do with the Q drop. How about that?
Hey,
yes. What was the number? 343?
343. So you guys can look it up and follow along, and then we'll have that for you in a little bit. Larry's here. He's going to be talking about moon cycles and so forth. And we got more bison stuff. A lot. Oh, there was Capitol Hill. There were future AG Todd Blanche was there. We have that. So got a lot of good stuff.
They don't like Todd Blanche because Todd Blanche is a very much a straight shooter and doesn't play games with these senators and congressmen. So they really don't like him that much. You know, like
I don't think he's
very straight with them too.
Hey, this guy's a good guy to have on the team. All right, he looks like a good old boy from New York. What do you think, guys? Todd Blanche.
Oh yeah. So Larry, let me ask you. Speaking about good old boys from New York, Larry, what do you think about this moratorium on the AI data centers?
Oh, we're talking about
not at all.
We're going to get to that. We got video. Go ahead, Larry.
No good. See, industry needs to come back to New York. New York used to be the center hub for everything in the world. The printing industry is gone because of the way it changed. It just got digitized. So like years ago when I was in the printing industry, and we did everything manually. And we had film strippers who then didn't keep up and didn't learn the Mac. And then 2 years later, they're losing their homes. But meanwhile, these were the top guys in the industry. Well, that's what the guy's going to do in New York. It needs to be here so everybody can get involved. You have to bring some big industry.
Look at Kodak. Look what happened to Kodak up there.
Kodak lost all their film business. And film, don't even get into camera film. Kodak's largest film industry was the printing industry, not the photography industry. We went through hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of film a month. So it can wipe out what was the top business, or it can actually kill what it's going to do to New York. It's going to kill us if we don't get involved.
Well, here's the thing. It's like a double-edged sword because the moratorium allegedly is temporary, right? But because they want to see if it passes environmental tests and see how it affects the electric grid and everything else. And all of that on the surface sounds good and wonderful. But these things can drag on for a decade.
Once you say no, getting in is going to be difficult, or your battle of I'm already not there, I'm not coming.
Yeah.
They are going to miss, for New York, and as me as a former New Yorker, they're going to miss the boat because which part of the problem is that they're not going to approve these ones here. Then other companies are going to be like, okay, well, we can't make plans there. They can just move it somewhere else.
Just think about data centers. They're going to be putting them in areas where there's no industry because they have to be so large. So just think, upstate Monticello.
I know.
So this is where these things are going to go and create jobs where there are no such industries or tech jobs.
Let's talk about the jobs so all our people can understand this. The jobs that are going to be created by the data centers, by the AI data centers, are going to be producing between $175,000 and $280,000 a year jobs.
Right.
Okay. Your children, your grandchildren can get in on this. And they don't need, these are people that are going to have these jobs with no college debt, because they don't need a university to go to before landing a job like this.
And if I could say this, once they get trained with this, they're not beholden forever in this data center. They can go and say, listen, hey, you know what? I've been an electrician. I know you got to get certified. I've been doing this here at this data center. I got trained. They certified me. I could go somewhere else, and then it's a good life. These are not the jobs that no one wants. These are the jobs
these are those jobs that came to us when the industry first went digital.
Yeah.
And you had one IT person, right? Now you're going to have an entire company of nothing but IT people. So you got a whole company of high-end people. Not even like high-end, low-end. This is a high-end job that they're going to be creating.
Like Larry, I'm just saying this just to say it. You're hanging out in a bar. You're talking to a chick, and they go, what do you do for a living? Go, oh, I'm a data analysis for security for whatever. Oh, okay. Like, these are the jobs people want, and they are listening to the propaganda.
And listen, let's not discount the people that lay the wires.
Right.
These are big money. These guys are making big money per hour jobs, laying the wires. And do you know what that entails for a data center? Laying the wires, the cables that come in, and then how all of the racks have to be set up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
while we're into it,
you know what? We talked yesterday about Trump, but you know what pisses me off is that we have this AI book that we're practically giving away, that we let you download. You can share it with everybody. There's no restrictions. And it's like we're pulling teeth to get people to recognize everything somebody would need to know to make a career out of this is in that book and the updates.
I personally think if you're under the age of 40, that you should go take some AI classes just in case your career decides it's going to take a downturn, or if you want to create something for your kids, teach them AI. This is the perfect opportunity. It's like when IT came out. You push the kids into IT.
All right, since we just cut to the line, let's just watch this video here so we don't have to we don't have to restart this. Here we go.
What was Governor Kathy Hochul's reasoning behind this decision?
Hi, thanks so much for having me on. The governor has some concerns with data centers, and she said she wanted to get a regulatory framework in place in order to address those concerns, those being, impact on electricity prices, impacts on the electric grid, and environmental impacts of these centers.
And how exactly is this order being implemented?
So it's going to be through the state environmental agencies. They are just not going to issue permits, it sounds like, to any new data centers that would like to build. At least any new data centers that are above a certain electricity use capacity.
All right, there you go. End of it. That's how you do it. I mean, I know both of you guys are from New York. I love New York, but at the same time, that's what you get. All in upstate New York, all that beautiful land where the Buffalo Bills play, and all this, and all that. It wouldn't be bad to have a data center.
And there's water, there's mountains, there's rivers, there's waterfalls, there's everything you need to put these data centers. So, I don't know. I can't see it actually being blocked. But
I'm telling you right now, Larry, if they could build one on Staten Island, if they could build one up here where I am, it would be marvelous, because our utility prices would overnight drop.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is what people don't understand. They're like, oh, my electric prices are going to go through the roof. No, opposite, because the data center is going to work out great deals, build additional power supplies, not only for them, but it'll be dispersed amongst the community. People
they bring down the price of because of their usage. They bring down the cost for us because
right from the cheap seats here. Oh, guys, you guys know that 4th of July weekend, I lost electricity, right? If I was near a data center, I could
You would've
almost
lost electricity.
yes, they would have been like, you get that thing up like right now. When I used to live in Myrtle Beach, I had a home by the major intersection. So whenever the power went out, we always knew we were the first one to get electricity back because of the major intersection. Could you imagine if your data center?
Right here in New York, we lose power. Like they had rolling blackouts during that last heat wave. Florida has a heat wave like every day, don't they? Maybe somebody should make a phone call to Florida and find out what they do and just spread it around to the rest of the country.
All right. Well, this, Larry, what we're talking about now is we're talking about how ancient the wiring throughout New York City is.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And it's the same principle. The New York City Electric Company still uses, I'm not going to name them because they're just a bunch of jokers, but it still uses the same principle that the cable companies did. Because do you know how much government subsidies the cable companies get? It's billions and billions of dollars every year. Do you think they use that to improve their infrastructure?
Yeah, why do that?
No, they pocket it. It's all pocketed. So the thing is, and then of course, if something, doesn't work, then they have to send the crews out and make adjustments and stuff like that. But all that money, that taxpayer money, should be going to improve the infrastructure. Same thing with the electrical companies. That's the big problem. These guys do not want to use the money that they get subsidized to improve. So now here comes the AI data center.
Right.
All right.
They might not have the wiring to suffice.
True.
All right,
So,
guys, let's move on to the show here because I want to get into not only that but Huckabee and the quantum stuff. All right. Here we go. All right, guys. First up on the dispatch, this is the lead story. IBM is building quantum shield, how post-quantum cryptography saves blockchain. And Dave, I'm taking a back seat on this. I know you are involved with this, the blockchain, the quantum, and all this stuff. It's going at record speed, is it not, with all this stuff with the president?
It truly is. It truly is. And look, guys, the reason why the White House came out and said Q is for quantum is because, and you could, we don't have to draw you a map about how quantum computing and quantum technology matched with game theory filtered through a small group became, well, you know what I'm going to say. We're trying not to get censored on Facebook and YouTube.
Well, wait till you see the video debut today. But if I can just tell you this, the reason why, in part, Dave Blaze is involved with this is because his other company, the Blaze team, Blaze Hexa, works with some of the leaders of this whole thing to make these computers. And one of the leaders is IBM, correct, Dave?
Yeah. IBM, the Hyperledger, and so on is all involved in exactly this with the blockchain. See, here's the thing with the advent of quantum computing, breaking through the blockchain keys is nothing the way it is now.
Right.
So that's what the Hyperledger is involved with, is creating security for blockchain keys so they cannot be cracked by a quantum computer. Let's say a quantum computer in China can't crack our keys that are protecting your medical records or your banking records or whatever it is. Okay, so all of this has to be in place. And hence why George Magazine was out front talking about how blockchain is not ready to be used in voting.
Right. With all these people, in this so-called movement, right? Name one, like, oh, this person's like a former whatever in the army or whatever. Name one that actually knows about all of this stuff that happens to be tied in with it. And now you see why, in part, why Dave Blazin's here. Okay. Hey, can I play this video? And Larry, because Larry worked for their first George magazine. So you got that.
Can you imagine the crew that you guys are looking at right now?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to stop and think. Here you got Gene Ho, who was a goat farmer. No, I'm just kidding. Who was a fantastic. Gene had one of the largest photography operations in the nation, and then went on to become President Trump's photographer during the first campaign. No one knows him for all he did with photography. Studios all over the country, repping Nikon and various other manufacturers. No, they know him for his time with Trump. Me, you guys never heard of me before getting involved with George Magazine. But we were all involved with the quantum computing. And here's Larry. Nobody knew who Larry was, but Larry was involved in some of the most famous first run of George magazines there
like
were.
the picture behind him.
Like
we'll talk about that in a second. All right.
So
let me play. I don't want to interrupt you, but
no, go ahead. Interrupt.
This video shows you the direction of the the country when it comes to quantum computing. Here we go.
If you can do a third kind of math, which algorithms are suited to that third kind of math? So it excites me because we can now approach algorithms that you just could never do on the other two. It's impossible. Now, it's different than AI. It's not data intensive. It's compute intensive. So we kind of had compute and supercomputers. Then we went to data, which is AI. And now if you say there's another class of problems which require lots of compute, that's quantum.
Mm-hmm. A couple of months ago, I was at the Watson Research Center, and they have, on the ground floor, they have those behind the glass, those incredibly exciting looking machines. But where are we in the timeline of this?
3 to 5 years away from shocking people.
What does shocking people mean?
Do something that nobody thought was possible in that timeline.
Okay.
That's right.
That was a year ago, by the way. This video was a year ago. So we're even closer to that point. And of course, actually, I'm sure it's even faster because President Trump is accelerating it.
Well, and that's why the president keeps talking about medical advancements that are coming down the pipe. So the president there of IBM really laid it out well.
Great.
Don't you think, Larry?
Computers, the computer in the medical industry is probably going to be the most important thing that we end up doing. I mean, it's going to help a lot of other industries, but the medical industry, I think this computing and the way they do stuff, the automatic surgery machines. Staten Island picked up a machine where the surgeon doesn't have to be in the room. He's in another room with a remote control, and he's doing heart valve placement and stents through your ribs with a robot. So this is what that type of computing is going to give capability.
Now that's going to get even more advanced with 6G.
Right.
And and as you both know, we did that big article about 6G a couple issues back.
Right.
But these are big things. So Larry asked before we went on air, guys. Larry asked a good question: how far ahead are we with computers as opposed to what's available on the consumer market? And the closest thing that we can talk about is NVIDIA just came out with a processor, the Ultra processor from NVIDIA that they put into Microsoft is using it in a Surface laptop Ultra, and then there's a Lenovo laptop that's out there. So by comparison, for all you Apple fanboys, imagine that right now Apple is putting out the M5 chip, right? It's M5, Larry?
5, I think they're up to. Yeah.
M5 is their latest one. So the NVIDIA chip would be comparable to like an M10. So it's already about 5 generations ahead. But here's the problem. They put it out there as a test because the laptop is going to go for about $5,000 or $6,000. The battery life without it being plugged in is going to be like an hour. It's hot as hell. It runs very hot. So these are the limitations that have to be overcome if those kind of processes are going to make it onto the consumer market.
Okay.
Also, it weighs a ton and is about 3 inches thick.
Really?
Well, 2 inches, yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Old school.
Let's talk about this. You realize yesterday, guys, on the dispatch today, there was this news article. So this was in our dispatch today, this morning.
Yeah.
Trump turns to Iraq and Gulf allies to squeeze Iran. Now, it appeared this morning, but already yesterday, this is our told you so. In yesterday's show, we already talked about it. Showing again, we're ahead of the curve. This is the video from yesterday talking about the news report today. I mean, this is this is day 3 now already of this, where he's going back at it. So
they're going to go at it more, and I'm going to tell you, our allies in the Middle East, aside from Israel, but Bahrain and Oman and the rest of the United Arab Emirates, they're going to get in the fight as well, because these crazy Iranians, every time we attack Iran, they send rockets over to these other guys, and they start shooting at them. I mean, it's just an insane situation going on.
Yeah. So that is Dave Blades yesterday saying, hey, what Trump is going to do next is go make allies or better allies with some of these people or these countries in the Middle East. And we really here got a great understanding of it because of this show, understanding what's going on there.
You know, I think we got we finally have a good guy running Iraq. And he's a tough guy. And because the president is talking about pulling our military out of Iraq. You heard that? You guys hear that today?
Wow, it's about time.
I know. Cue the Iraqi dinars. They're going to make a comeback. You know, no. They're not going to get revalued for $50 a piece. That's not happening.
All right. We are thrilled to have Larry Giordano here. If you look at the picture behind him, you see the very famous Survival Guide to the Future. Larry was one of the graphic designers that worked on that and got the instruction from JFK Jr. to make that specific moon a certain way, which, as you guys know, was the same moon and July 3rd when Trump spoke there the first time. Larry, I mean, tell us a little bit about what the stories that you told us when it was like he insisted or JFK Jr. insisted.
See, our work used to come in by messenger. We didn't have, everything wasn't done digitally. So we're standing there waiting at nighttime for the package to come. And when it comes out, we look at the markups. So on this one markup, it just said -4%. So when you're -4%, to me, you're talking color. But I'm like, it's a white moon. So how much lighter do you want to make it? So we had a phone number to call at night in case we had any questions, because the cover questions had to be answered right away. There was no waiting to the next day, and we did our work at night. So this is like 8, 9 o'clock at night now. So we get the package, and I'm like, I need to know what this means. So I call the phone number that we have, and there's an answering machine. Just says, leave a message. So I says, this is Larry from Pubset. I says, I got a question on the cover. It says -4% red, -4%. Says, we need to know exactly what you mean by that. So I get a phone call back, and not realizing I'm talking to John, and he's telling me that he says he wants to take the moon and shave off the right side of you're looking at the right side there, but it's the left side because it's backwards here. He said, I want to take whatever the width of the moon is and make it 4% less and shave it off the left-hand side of the moon. And we're like, all right, never thought nothing of it. This is, I get 1,000 requests when I do covers. I did every cover in every magazine probably for 30 years. I worked for these companies. And I was like, all right, it's no problem. Until time goes by and I'm like looking at the 4th of July show at the night. And I said, oh, look at that. It's going to be full moon that night. So I looked it up. And it just so happened to be that it was not going to be a complete full moon. It was going to be a 96% full moon. And my mind automatically went back to -4% from the moon.
Right.
Right.
I was always wondering what the hell that meant and just forgot all about it. And now all of a sudden you're looking at it that's the moon phase from the 4th of July show from the first Trump show.
Yeah.
Right.
You go and you look further, the Trump show this year was the opposite moon.
Right.
Right.
Right. And we
2 fireworks shows at Mount Rushmore, and he had the moon that's on that cover and the opposite moon for the second
Right.
show.
We now on the Q issue, we didn't do it the full moon. We did the crescent, the mid part that was mid.
You did the part that was missing, yeah.
Right. Right.
It was
And
just
then
odd that I had to know what it meant, and now after seeing this, I'm like, what else could it possibly mean? I mean, it's not like back then we didn't know what was going on. We just did magazine work, But that's just a strange request to ask.
And Daniel, just so you know,
let me respond to Daniel. Now,
Okay.
Daniel, you already know the answer to this, so don't make us go into some long explanation of it. So you already know. All right.
but here we are, and the amount. Now it's kind of different now because of the stuff we've been posting. We'll show you another post, but the amount of hate or like fight back of this. We have here someone that talked to John and told. This is like, how do you put this panel? How do you put this panel together? When you look at all these other shows, it's like, I'm an expert at this one. How do you put this together? Really?
Well, the other thing is that the reason that we get so much pushback all the time from our posts and from the covers and from the magazine and whatever is because, when the real deal rolls into town, the ones that were the pretenders, well, they're not happy. They're not going to be happy. Oh, look, the real guys are here. Oh, okay. Well, we'll just pack our bags. They're not doing that.
Right. So it's like then it's like attack or like they're not the real George or whatever.
Right.
All right.
Right.
All right. If we could please move on because there's a big hearing today in Capitol Hill. I didn't see the live. I gave Dave Blaze a link. We were watching it earlier, but I like this guy. I like this Attorney General a lot. Or soon to be. This is Dave Blaze and I call this, Dave Blaze and I call this a wartime consigliere. Like he's perfect right now because he is
perfect wording.
Yeah,
Perfect
Larry
wording.
likes it too.
All right, guys.
And it
Watch.
has nothing to do with him being an Italian American.
No, really.
All right, watch him today. This is from today. Watch him get grilled because he's trying to get confirmed. Here we go.
Like to respond? I would. Almost everything the senator just said, and he's protected. He's allowed to lie. But almost everything he just said was absolutely false, okay? Starting with the fact that I have never said that any sort of violence against law enforcement is appropriate. I have never said that publicly. I have never said that in a speech, and I certainly do not believe it. That the narrative that the senator just suggested and put on me as something I believe is absolutely not true.
Since he accused me of lying personally, Mr. Chairman, let me ask that I put this series of concerns into a question for the record, and that you, under oath, one by one, tell me where there's a lie.
I'm happy to do that.
We'll get that to you.
I'm happy to do that.
Yeah,
This is the part that very few people realize, that these senators and congressmen,
You've been saying that.
if the Congress people are on the House floor in front of a microphone, or if the senators are on the Senate floor or in committee, they can lie.
I know.
Can say all the most outrageous crap you've ever heard in your life with no repercussions.
How did they get away with that? Because if you were testifying and you lied, you had to be held for perjury. So how could you sit down and grill somebody and throw lies at them and not be held responsible?
We talked about this is what happened, and I'm going this way with the Nancy Mace thing, because when she was running against Attorney General of South Carolina Wilson, She just like went off and said this without any repercussion. And Dave Bladen saying, wait, by the way, when she's calling this person a voyeur and all this stuff or whatever that thing was she was saying, it was like she's free to do so. And it was really nice. That's why I pulled this video where a Deputy Attorney General Blanche pointed that out, which Dave Bladen's been saying that forever. All right.
Now,
you should be able to prove yourself.
See, it's allowed because as part of the congressional acts and it's in the Constitution where they can. It's so that it was never meant in a way so that these people can just get up there and lie. Nobody in their right mind would ever have imagined a Nancy Mace getting up there calling the other guy, a voyeur or not a real man or whatever it is from the House floor. Okay. I'm sure the founding fathers never said, 300 years from now, there's going to be some chick.
Some crazy chick.
So then they weren't thinking that. But it's for Congress's protection. In case they say they misstate something or something is a little off, they can't be sued. And I can see the point in that, but these guys take it to
a ridiculous level.
Yes.
You know what? I like Ted Cruz for a reason. When Ted Cruz comes in, he comes in with his receipts. He lets you talk, blah, 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 blah. And then he goes, well, this is what I have to say opposite of you. And all of a sudden he calls the boy over, bring it over, and the boards come out. And he's showing you data, proof, their own words. And then you're standing there now he's got proof. They should make you do that for everything. You can't just talk out anything you want and have the other person have to defend himself and say you're a liar. And accuse somebody of lying when he was.
Now, there's one more guy that I'm going to point out here because this is a very touchy subject. But Rand Paul going after Fauci on the point of gain of function research is some of the most twisted thinking and positioning that there can be. Because here's the thing. If you are going to develop antidotes to various chemical warfare that could be that maybe you got word that China's developing or Iran or Russia or wherever our adversaries are, you're gonna want to be prepared with antidotes. Well, how are you going to figure out the antidote if you haven't taken a virus and gained it and increased its functionality and then figured out a way how to stop it? If it was ever released
because I hate to be like showboating. It's showboating, and it goes to the base. Like, so this guy's defending this. I won't go into this. I really, because last thing I want to do with this, but it's just the same thing with Roundup. Like, okay, people don't like Roundup, but you realize Trump and RFK said we need to do it for national security. Otherwise, the food prices go straight up. Everyone knows how expensive so-called organic food is. But there's some things that go in there. All right. One more point, Gene.
And not to bridge this, but in Masonic circles, you can see this playing out. Millions of people died from this virus vaccine. However you want to look at it, somebody has to be held accountable. They have to hang this around somebody's neck.
Yeah.
So Fauci is the likely suspect.
What's going to happen with that auto pen whatnot pardon he got? I mean, how does this, that plays into a situation here where they pardoned him before they accused him of doing something. So
that's right. And the only other person that got that kind of a pardon, right?
No, I forget. Who was it?
Was Hunter.
True. That's right.
Hunter Biden got like an all-purpose pardon.
Right. An overall pardon for anything he may have done going back 10 years.
And anything he may do.
Really?
Before birth.
All right. That's good. All right. Want to let everyone know and remind you that we have the Q. It's for Quantum coffee mug and the T-shirt. And in just a little bit, wait till you see the video we're going to show after the devotional. We always do is like, hey, if you want to stick around, you got to listen to the devotional. But really quick, before we do that, I do want to talk about Mike Huckabee today, because he is in the news, and he was in the dispatch here. Mike Huckabee rejects Ro Khanna's Israel visit claims, not held at gunpoint. Let me just...
On one hand, he's supporting the Nazi up in Maine, and now he's crying about the Jew. He wants to go to Israel. He's detained by the Israeli soldiers. So the Israeli soldiers who, let's say they have a rifle strapped across their back, right? And they're detaining him. Does that mean the way he phrased it?
Well,
was like they were pointing rifles at him.
This is politics, and we are political commentators. Ro Khanna is going to be one of the persons that are going to be running for president. In order to do that, he is trying to flush out the true we hate Israel, all Jews people. That's his positioning. So he goes there and says, what in the world? I got held up in all this stuff. And Huckabee,
he does not look as good on a magazine cover as Sandy Cortez.
No.
I like Sandy Cortez.
Just saying.
All right. And I like, who is it that mayor, who's the one that we had yesterday that we
Nancy Mace.
No, not her. The other one for Colorado. I can't remember her name.
Oh, yeah. The one that likes to talk about sucking shit. What did she say?
No, she denied that.
She said that.
She denied that. She says that all centrist, the ad said all centrist Democrats suck.
Oh, that's right. Centrist Democrats.
Yeah. Okay, let's watch what this... He's a congressman, right, Dave? Am I Khanna? Yes.
Who, Ro Khanna? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He's a congressman, Democrat, and he visits Israel. So this is his problem. This is his problem. Here we go.
Detained by settlers and the Israeli military for more than an hour, according to Reuters.
I'm certainly probably the first American politician who's been detained by the IDF and Israeli settlers. I mean, we were at a village that Israeli settlers had destroyed. They had destroyed the school. They had destroyed that village, and we were just looking at it. And these hoodlums come in with machine guns, an M4, an American-made machine gun, and they detain us. They block off the road. And then they call the IDF, and the IDF is on their side, not on the side of the Americans.
Khanna is on a 3-day trip to the West Bank as he weighs a potential presidential run in 2028. Support for Israel in the U.S. has fallen significantly, especially among Democrats, where a progressive young wing of the party has been highly critical of Israel.
I saw the arrogance in the eyes of those settlers, 21 and 22-year-olds with guns, laughing that they had detained us.
All right, guys, this is a good show because this is the first time we touched on this type of topic here. But this is the kind of legal propaganda or whatever. Legal propaganda, basically, oh my goodness, I'm like being persecuted. And Huckabee called him out on this. Watch what Huckabee says.
Yeah, good.
In response to this.
Ro Khanna was going to be killed by the IDF?
That's absurd. It's ridiculous. And here are some facts that maybe Ro Khanna doesn't want us to tell you. First of all, he did not let us know he was coming. Most of the time, a member of Congress, if they're coming to the country, they coordinate with us. They let us know they're coming. We make sure that there is security. He didn't want our assistance because he came at the invitation and under the guide of this very pro-Palestinian activist who is known for regularly trying to take people into provocative situations in Judea and Samaria. In this case, in Area C, which is Israeli-controlled. A lot of people don't understand that. So he goes to a place that is a CMZ, which means a civilian military zone. It is forbidden for people to just show up. It's like I can't go to a U.S. air base, just walk in and say, hey, I'd like to look around. I can't go to Ro Khanna's office in Washington and just pop in and say, I'd like to just, nose around.
See,
that's
propaganda right there. What Ro Khanna did was,
Yeah.
and then he teamed up with a professional Palestinian pot stirrer.
Yeah, right. So I love this because we're showing you how these games are played. And Huckabee, and by the way, if you didn't get our George Magazine issue where we interviewed Huckabee, get it. Huckabee, as you know now, I live in Arkansas, but he's my neighbor, or at least 30 minutes down the road from me. Of course, he's an ambassador now, but just shows you this is propaganda on his behalf. Right. Okay.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with local loyalists.
This guy did this purposely the way he did it. He went
Oh,
to the
of course.
knowing he needed to let them know.
Yeah, right. It's like a troublemaker. He's a troublemaker. He goes in there, and then like these people on TikTok that film in the restaurant, and they say, "We need you out," and then the police come and say, "Oh, I can't." Like, he's causing trouble. That's what he was doing.
You're going to and there's two people in this situation. So you're with one party, and you're going over to the area where the other party is, and you're not going to get a conflict. You looked for a conflict. You got what you were looking for.
Right. Not only that, but as Ambassador Huckabee explained, these are areas where you don't go.
Right.
Right.
And he didn't let anyone know he was coming. And he said, "Oh, they didn't look how they treated the Americans." No, that's how they treated you, dumbass.
Yeah. They treated you this way because you didn't follow the rules.
Right. It's like those people on TikTok that make videos, like purposely. Like, I see this all the time. I hate that I started watching this. They go into places and they just start videoing, and then of course people are going to be upset. But they do this. But he's doing it for political gain.
See, this is why our people are so smart. And there just happens to be a camera. Eric came up. Just happens to be a camera there, just like the grandpa and the bison.
Aaron.
Yeah. Believe it or not, Aaron, Gene is forcing another bison story today.
We have a video of a first-person interview. So of course I have. Hey, we got to stick around, Aaron. That's for you.
Now, Brad, we got to disagree with you on this. America is America because we didn't follow rules. We didn't follow the. Do you realize that Washington and Franklin and Hancock and Jefferson and Adams and all those guys were young, wealthy men who risked being hung by the crown for what they did in the revolution? All of their wealth, their land, everything they put on the line.
They should watch
Good. What?
They should watch the movie The Sons of Liberty on Netflix. You want to learn the whole situation? That explains everything. There were no rule breaking. We were just trying to survive.
I got that one.
Right. Big difference, Brad. There's a big difference. You know, these guys, they want, a lot of these militia guys and all of that, they're just looking for trouble. They're just, they just want to be rebellious for rebellious sake.
Right.
And that's not what our country was built on.
No.
All right, guys. In a second, I'm going to run the devotional, but the rest of the way on this show, you're going to love, because after the devotional,
Tracy has. Hold on a second, Gene. Tracy has breaking news: bison and more bison, and then some more bison after that.
Tracy, come on. This one is important. There's an eyewitness. All right.
You know what they should do? They should interview the bison.
All right. Well, okay. After the devotional, you're gonna see the new video. It's a Q post video. So how could you not want to stick around?
Oh, this video is good. It brings
so you
back.
Gotta stick around, and then we're gonna show it. Yeah, we're gonna show it for everybody afterward. But until then, you have to eat the meat before you eat the pudding.
That's right.
So sorry. Yeah. This is the devotional today. Dave Blaze and I have been very blessed because when we first started this show, we only put clips on it, and we're like, you know what? Just do it. Let's put the whole thing. And it's gone over really well. People have stuck around and watched it and actually watched the devotion. So this is the one from today. Dave Blaze did it. Okay, here we go.
Millions of believers hold a legal guarantee of eternal life, yet they wake up every morning experiencing absolutely no daily joy or peace. The New Testament describes a state of being blessed with all spiritual blessings. It suggests that every Christian possesses a massive, untapped reservoir of spiritual wealth. Why do people who have been gifted everything an eternal God can offer continue to live as though they are spiritually bankrupt? Possession is not the same as experience. Holding the legal title to an inheritance is useless if the heir never actually sets foot on the property or learns how to use the accounts. This disconnect exists because most people confuse two distinct theological realities. They mistake their permanent status for their daily experience. The first reality is legal standing. On the left, this unmoving line represents the believer's position before God. Through Christ's work, this status is perfected forever, a finished fact, free from condemnation. Because it relies on Christ, it cannot be improved or diminished. It is fixed. But the right side shows fellowship. This is the daily connection. Unlike the static line, fellowship is dynamic. It pulses based on how a person actively engages with God. When a person relies on their permanent standing while neglecting their daily fellowship, they find themselves in the exact position we saw earlier, legally rich, but experientially empty. To bridge that gap, we have to go back to the origin of these resources, the work of Jesus Christ on the cross. The mechanism at work here is propitiation. This is the act where Christ absorbed the full penalty of sin, satisfying the requirements of justice to fundamentally reset the believer's reality. This reset involves a total severing of old ties. These heavy lines represent deliverance from the wrath to come, darkness, the fear of death, and the law. As they snap, new glowing lines take their place, the divine nature, holiness, and a heavenly calling. This isn't just a past event. Christ maintains this connection in real time as an advocate, interceding at God's right hand to keep that relational channel open. Christ's work cleared the legal debt of sin and simultaneously installed the believer into a new, heavily resourced spiritual ecosystem. Entering this ecosystem is only the beginning. A believer starts as a newborn babe, and they are expected to intentionally build upon their baseline faith. The process follows a specific sequence. Upon the foundation of faith, you stack virtue and knowledge. The structure gains stability with middle layers, self-control, and patience. Finally, the tower is completed with godliness, brotherly kindness, and love. The entire life illuminates. This sequence provides the framework for a life that is actually fruitful, one that increases in the knowledge of God rather than stagnating. By adding knowledge to faith, the believer gains stability against doubt. By adding patience, they gain resilience against suffering. This internal consistency is what allows the joy of salvation to transition from a theological concept to a lived experience. As this internal growth takes hold, it changes how a person approaches their work. The command is to occupy until Christ returns. However, many people view this as a mandate to exhaust themselves with an endless checklist of religious tasks. This type of anxious labor is often what kills joy in the first place. Consider Mary and Martha. Martha is the circle on the left, occupied for Jesus, emitting jagged lines of effort until depleted. Mary is the circle on the right, occupied with Jesus, drawing energy inward from his presence. Martha was distracted by much serving, but Mary chose to sit and listen. She chose fellowship over activity. Effective service isn't measured by the volume of your anxious labor, but by your willingness to remain anchored in fellowship and to depart from iniquity. All of these resources, the standing, the growth, and the joy, depend on one single prerequisite: hearing and believing the gospel. The word of truth is simple. Christ died for our sins. He was buried and rose on the third day. Believing that historical fact is the trigger that seals you with the Holy Spirit and unlocks this entire spiritual ecosystem. The time is short. The opportunity to believe is right now. Believe today.
Amen. And thank you, Dave Blake, for making these, really.
You know, the other thing is, it's very interesting, you know, when trouble comes into your life and whatever, people say, well, how you doing? And a common phrase as well, under the circumstances, you know, on this or that. You know, the Apostle Paul writes, and I'll find this for you later, but the Apostle Paul writes that we are, in Christ, we are above our circumstances. We are actually above the circumstances. So it's when Christians fully understand what they have been given through believing in the Lord Jesus Christ, it's like a whole different life.
Yeah, well, this is wonderful. I enjoy. I listen to these every morning because that's as part of my job when I check it over. But the visual of it, because sometimes I'll be working and listening, but the visual, it's just absolutely amazing.
Beautiful.
Really quick before, I want to show you, and I've been showing this. If you go to georgemagazine.com, just go to topics, daily dispatch updates, and you can see it right there, the fourth one down, George Daily Devotions. As you guys know, Dave Blaze and I take turns on Monday through Friday to do the devotionals, and we have been blessed by it. So thank you. All right. Hey, let's have some fun. We got
why don't we show the video about the magazine and the and that post?
Yeah. Okay. So this is the one in about an hour after we finish the live show. We'll post this also, but you guys get to see it first. And you guys will enjoy this because it has to do with the Q post. Here we go. Let's talk So It Begins, where it came from, and how it's going just as planned. Let's first talk So It Begins. Dave Blaze said this, followed by what Donald Trump posted 4 hours later.
The theme for issue 39 is So It Begins.
So It Begins, where did you hear that first? Well, it has to do with the descriptions in these magazines right here that, by the way, only had a letter on the cover, no words for the collector or the standard. Now, here's the thing. It's in a post. And we're talking about post 343, where it talks about So It Begins. And it also talks about how to start a war and a marker. Now, when it comes to this, what are we talking about? When we said issue 39, we're talking about this issue of George Magazine. What is the first domino to fall? It's a domino with a time clock. And what does that time clock say? 11:56. What's so important about that number? That was a timestamp when the Capture Maduro first got published, 11:56. So you should put your trust in the plan here, or at least that is going on like it's supposed to happen, because that's the first domino to fall. And as we get through all of this stuff, even war, we're going to see things come together.
How do you start a war?
Yeah, we're gonna. It's like this has been going on so long, and we've been doing videos like this. So, guys, figure it out.
After this, we have another one that Gene is working on that addresses the where it says, quote, "The hunt for," unquote, was dropped. So that's a very
important detail, right?
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for supporting us throughout this whole time. All right. Hey, perfect timing. Is Erin still here? Is Erin still here? This is for her.
Yeah, Erin's here. Erin just left this wonderful comment.
No, thank you, Erin, for watching. It encourages us when people do
and then where's Brad? Did Brad leave? No, Brad's still here. Good. All right. Everybody's here.
All right.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Sure. Did you say it was captured at 11:56?
No. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is what happened, and this is how it worked out. when they went to get Maduro, the United States government gave the heads up to the WAPO, Washington Post, and the New York Times. They got scooped. They got scooped by the Vatican's national newspaper.
How did the Vatican possibly know?
Right.
I know.
So the Vatican scooped them before that, and they got that out because the first ones that were supposed to do it is New York Times and WAPO.
Right.
And so that's where this whole number came from. And it's the first domino. And it says so it begins.
Yeah. Go ahead, Larry.
I says, and it begins.
And it begins.
All right, let's do this because this is very important. Larry, this is very important.
Hold on a second. So Mint Julep, you're not listening? That's exactly what he just said.
That's Mint Julep. Go and when we post this, you could go back to this. Go and freeze frame it because we did the freeze frame of it.
Yeah, yeah.
When I say freeze frame, I feel like who's that freeze frame?
Giles.
These guys.
Jay
Girlfriend.
Giles.
My girlfriend's naked.
Well, he did centerfold. They did centerfold too, but also freeze frame.
All right, guys, we're gonna close the show with this very important.
This is a very important video that Larry and I are being dragged through for the third day in a row.
All right, here we go. We're gonna see. Okay, here we go.
ABC's Melissa Dunn has the latest.
Tonight, these are the heart-stopping moments a grandfather was attacked by a bison at Yellowstone National Park. The dramatic video posted online by a professional photographer shows a bison, which can weigh more than 1,500 pounds, charging after the 65-year-old, flipping him into the air. You see the man and his grandchild stop to take photos of the bison. Seconds later, the massive mammal then charges, chasing the family around trees. But
Yellowstone. Sir, what happened out there? Call me Craig. I was hot, horny, and that old man was in my space. He was 50 yards away, and you chased him around for a while. Why didn't you stop? I'd already committed to it. You ever turn around halfway through a chase? Makes you look stupid. Do you feel bad? That man's in a full body cast? He paid to enter Yellowstone. I gave him the full experience. You launched him 12 feet in the air. Premium package. Back to you.
It's good that we got the bison's point of view.
Hey, it's important.
We got the premium package.
Oh,
it's important. We gotta be fair, Dave. We're being fair and balanced. Okay. Hey guys, thank you so much.
Hold on a second. Mint Julep's calling me a jerk. Hold on. She writes, "Don't be a jerk, Dave. Clearly, I'm listening. That's how I knew what to ask." I know. The problem that we have, and we've had here, and we're very sensitive to it, is that we put out so much information, and it's like, I don't know what's going on with many people. They've got earplugs in, and they have, or the only thing they hear is meow, 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 or whatever. And so we're just we're hypersensitive.
We're hypersensitive, hypersensitive.
Needs to be absorbed. That's all. That's all. And I'm sorry. Yes, I was a little jerky. So,
all right, guys, thank you so much. It was great to have Larry on the show. And I'm going to close up. Tomorrow's Thursday. You'll see, Lord willing, you'll see Dave and I back here. Larry, thank you so much.
Larry's going back to look at the moon and maybe Moona's neighbors. But I will say, Larry, for all you've been through with the surgery and everything, you look fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're honored, Larry. All right,
but I'm coming there.
Yeah,
okay.
No, you look fantastic. He's even got on the gold chain.
Yeah,
the Cougine chain there.
All right, guys.
Gotta represent.
Thank you so much.
Gotta represent. All right.
All right.
Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow, Lord willing. Thanks for checking us out. Don't forget to go to georgemagazine.com and sign up for the Dispatch. It's free. Get the emails and the news stories. And check us out Monday through Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can check us out on Facebook and YouTube. We'll see you then.